Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Keyboard King. In this video, we're going to be reviewing the Logitech G Pro Keyboard. So this is a membrane keyboard, but it doesn't feel super membrane because of the type of keys. I believe they're called the mech dome membrane keys, so they're a little bit different than a standard membrane keyboard. It actually feels really good, and this keyboard's also super heavy. It feels really heavy duty. Pretty much no flex to it or anything. It's a high quality keyboard, and it's relatively cheap, and it's got some pretty interesting features with it as well. So we'll go ahead and take a deeper dive into this keyboard. So this keyboard is a TKL design, which is basically your standard full-size keyboard minus the numpad. That's pretty much the only difference between a TKL and a full-size keyboard. This keyboard is made of very high-quality plastic, and like I said, it's very heavy. It's about 5 pounds. It's similar in heaviness to my GMMK keyboard, so it's definitely super high-quality plastic. There's little to no flex. There's no flex at all when you're doing that. There's nothing. It's very high quality. One thing that I'm not a fan of on this keyboard is at the top, there's this big layer of nothing. It's just wide open space. I don't know why they did it that way. It's, in my opinion, super ugly and just a waste of space. I wish that they had made that smaller, maybe put these couple of buttons on the sides here, put the lights on the sides, something, and just eliminated that space. It's super ugly in my opinion. The keycaps are just your standard ABS keycaps, nothing too impressive about them. The legends, you can feel the legend imprints on these if you rub over them, which I'm not a big fan of. Some of the previous keyboards that I've reviewed have amazing keycaps, and the legends are completely flush with the keycaps and feel great. Unfortunately, with this keyboard, you get what you pay for. It's a lower end keyboard, and the legends just kind of feel like they were like pasted on there or something, because you can really feel them. And when you're typing on it, you can kind of feel them rubbing on your fingers. It's not the best experience in my opinion. I'm a little bit spoiled with some of the other keyboards that I've been trying out, but if you're on a budget and looking for a gaming keyboard, this is still a great option. It's just not the best, obviously, because you get, like the saying goes, you get what you pay for. But something that you do get with this keyboard is the RGB. It's pretty great if you're super into RGB. Each key is individually lit, and it comes with different options, and I believe that there's a software where you can edit and change the RGB and what it looks like. So that is one thing that Logitech in general does well, is the customizability across all their keyboards. So the switches on this keyboard are the Romer G variation of the GX Blue mechanical switches. So they do have a similar feeling to the mechanical switch, not completely, but slightly. It's a good knockoff version if you're wanting a mechanical keyboard but you can't afford one. This is a great sort of like a segue type of deal, sort of to get your feet wet, I guess. It allows you to have a similar feel but not break the bank. It has a high actuation point and it has a great little tactile bump, so sort of like a Gateron Brown switch. The key stabilization is very good on all the bigger keys. They don't move around or squeak or anything, and I'll just leave a short clip here of how the switches sound. In my opinion, they sound great. They don't sound amazing, but they sound pretty good. So another thing that I really like about this keyboard is the detachable cable. It's a little bit different than other keyboards. It's got these two little holes in them next to the cable hole, and it kind of just holds the cable in place. So I think that's an interesting little addition to the keyboard. I've actually had my keyboard cables, moving my keyboard around, I've had them fall out before, and this just makes it so that doesn't happen. I mean, I'm sure it doesn't happen very often, but it's just a small little detail they decided to add on this keyboard, and I think it's interesting, and it doesn't hurt to go above and beyond on some things. So just looking over some of the highlighted features of this keyboard, like I said, it's got the nice TKL design. It's got the 26 key rollover, so that's why this keyboard's great for gaming. You can type up to 26 keys at the same time and they should all register. so you don't have to worry about any key ghosting with this keyboard. It's also pretty small, compact, the TKL design, so it's super portable. The detachable cable also makes it so it's super easy to put in a carrying case, your backpack, and bring it with you on the go. Another feature is the rubber feet on the bottom. It's got two options, so it's got the smaller rubber feet, and then you've got the option to pull out the other one, depending on just your preferences. If you want the keyboard slanted slightly, or if you want it slanted up a little bit more, it's really up to you, but it's cool that they added that. Normally, a lot of keyboards, they either don't have the rubber feet or they just have the one option. So it's cool that they went a little extra and gave you the two options on this keyboard. And then it also has the multimedia controls. If you look, you have to look up under the keyboard like this to see on the keycaps. You can see the play, pause, stop, fast forward, and then the print screen and scroll lock. The scroll lock and the pause break are your volume up and down, and then the print screen button is your mute button, and you can access all of those multimedia function keys by holding the function button and then pressing those corresponding keys. So like I mentioned before, with the Logitech keyboards, they have great software with the Logitech G Hub. You can set up custom macros with this keyboard. You can set up custom macros on this keyboard. However, so if you like for editing and stuff on a video, you can set it up to do all kinds of cool stuff just to make your workload a lot easier, a lot quicker. And then it also has lots of customized options as far as the RGB goes. Each key is individually lit on this keyboard, so the customization is really endless. So a few negative things that I feel about this keyboard. So one thing is the no switch replacement. You can only use the Romer G switches. No other switch will work on this keyboard. It's a unique switch, so when you get this keyboard, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. If you don't like the switch, then you're just going to want to return this keyboard right away, because it's what you're stuck with. Unlike a lot of these other keyboards where you can put other switches in there, this one is limited to just the one. Another thing is there's no dedicated media keys. Some people care about this, some people don't. It's really not that big of a deal to just press the function button and then press the multifunctional keys. I personally like a dedicated media key, but it's not a make or break situation for me. I like them, but if it doesn't have it, if the rest of the keyboard's good, then I would still go with the keyboard. And then another thing, like I mentioned before, this large empty space on the keyboard, I'm really not a fan of. So it's not a big deal, I just think it kind of looks ugly. But yeah, that's another negative about this keyboard. So how does this keyboard compare with some of the other Logitech keyboards? Personally, I think this is probably the best TKL membrane type keyboard, especially at this price point. So if that's something you're looking for and it's a gaming keyboard, then this is probably the best option that you're going to get. If you're going to compare it to something like the Logitech 915, the Logitech 915 definitely has better value for your money, but it's a lot more expensive. So if you can't afford something like that, then again, you're going to want to get this keyboard. And then if we compare it to something like the Logitech G213, this keyboard, which I've reviewed in a previous video, I believe, or is planned. If I've created that video, then I'll put it in the cards. If not, then it's a planned future video. The Logitech G213. This keyboard's actually a lot better than that keyboard. I think I actually have, yeah, over there I have the Logitech G213. So this is the Logitech G213. It's still in the box right now. So it's planned for a future video. I'm not sure which video will come out first. This one's a pretty decent keyboard. It's very cheap though. It's not the best keyboard. And it's got a nice palm rest. That's one of the best features of it, is just the palm rest, if that's something that you need. If that's something you need in a keyboard. But in terms of like everything else, the switches, the build quality, the game mode, just everything about this keyboard is just so much better than the Logitech G213. So in conclusion, I think overall this is a great keyboard to have. It's got the switches on it that feel similar to some of the mechanical switches, similar to a brown switch, maybe a red switch. Not quite the same, but if you can't afford a regular mechanical keyboard, then this is a great option. And it's also got some of the great features of a gaming keyboard that a gaming keyboard should have, such as the 26 key rollover. It's got the game mode, which stops, it's basically like a do not disturb mode for the computer while you're playing games. It's got super great customizability, and it's decently priced. So I'm going to go ahead and leave a link in the description down below where you can get this keyboard on Amazon. Personally, I think if you're looking for a budget-friendly TKL gaming keyboard, then there's no better than this. So if you like this video, and you found it helpful, be sure to click the thumbs up button and also subscribe to this channel for future videos where I'm going to be all about keyboards, review more keyboards, and answer questions about keyboards and just general keyboard whatever. I might expand from that later on, but for right now, I'm just going to focus on keyboards. So if that's something you're into, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.